Hello guys! Welcome po again sa ating web design and programming. So, it is already our third week here on this course. For this week, we are going to discuss the third lesson, which is all about HTML documents, standards, and links. So, before we go ahead and do that, I would like to have a quick recap regarding our previous lesson. So, dun sa ating lesson 2, we were able to understand and explain the fundamentals of HTML and its history, of course. If you remember, we also watched a video from Fireship YouTube channel about the HTML, where it was created by Tim Berners-Lee, Robert Caillou, and others starting in 1989. Now, if you remember as well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. The hypertext means that the document contains links that allow the reader to jump to other places in the document or to another document altogether, such as going to another website. The latest version as of now is the HTML5. And also, we were able to discuss that a markup language is a way that computers speak to each other to control how text is processed and presented. Where to do that, we need to have two things. Of course, we need to use tags and attributes that were also covered on our lesson 2. We were able to talk about as well different types of HTML editors katulad ng Sublime, Notepad++, the Atom, Visual Studio Code, yun yung mga free natin na HTML editors, up to the premium HTML editors katulad ng Adobe Dreamweaver, and Frowala, and the Coffee Cup. So, from the last lesson as well, napag-usapan natin din yung mga basic structures, anatomy ng HTML elements, and other formatting of the text using different HTML tags. So, on this lesson, we are going to go ahead and discuss the following objectives. So, at the end of this lesson, we should be able to know how to make document declaration, understand how to use the other elements of HTML like the title, head, and anchor. In fact, some of these are already discussed to you or shown on the previous examples that we have, together with the first hands-on exercise that I have given you. We are also going to create sections on a web page, learn on how to use white space, indentation, and comments as part of web developers' tools in making their code easier. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to learn on the third lesson. Okay, so what are the other things that we need to know when it comes to prepare our HTML document? So, before we go ahead and create another example for this one, I would like you to understand some of the most common HTML tags beside the body tag and the other elements that we talked about last week. Because since we already learned about some of the most common HTML elements, this time we are going to learn how to set up an HTML file. So what are the things that we need to prepare? Okay, the first one is our document declaration. Okay, so in this case, we can let web browsers know that we are using HTML by starting our document with a document type declaration. Okay, because HTML kasi, mga file na HTML, it requires certain elements to set up the document properly. So we can let, as I have mentioned, we can let the web browsers know this by using the document type declaration. In this case, it will tell the web browser what type of document to expect, along with what version of HTML is being used in the document. So for now, the browser will correctly assume that the HTML in doc type is referring to the HTML5. So now, as you can see, no, itong ating tag na exclamation point, doc type, HTML, sa loob ng braces, is our document type declaration. So, we are trying to tell our web browser that this document is actually an HTML 5th version. Well, we can say that in the future, however, a new standard will override HTML5. Well, to make sure na yung document natin is forever interpreted correctly, always include this element on your on the first line of your HTML code. No, so lastly, HTML code is always saved in a file with an .html extension. So, wag nyo pong kakalimutan nyo na i-save yung inyong mga file using the .html extension name. Alright, so let's proceed to the following or to the next tag, which is the head. Okay, now so far, we've done two things to set up the file properly. Declared to the browser that your code is an HTML with the doc type HTML, added the HTML element that will contain the rest of your code. So far, we have added these elements to the brown bears page you previously created. No, naalala nyo ba yung ating nilagay doon na meron tayong doc type HTML, this one, and then we also added the head tag. Alright, so we can do this by making sure that we were able to add the head element. And if you remember, no, meron din tayong body tag. After the head element is your body tag, which includes all of the things that you wanted to be shown on your web page. Alright, so now, talking about the head tag, it contains the metadata for a web page. When we say metadata, guys, we are actually giving information about the page that isn't displayed directly on the web page. So, not unlike the body tag, no, whatever you put inside the body tag is going to be shown on the website that you are creating. Pero, inside the head tag, all of the information like metadata na tinatawag natin is part of the website but is not shown on the viewer. So, we will able to see an example of this on the next exercise. So, before that, pag-usapan muna natin yung iba pang mga tags na meron sa pag-setup ng isang HTML. So, the next one is yung ating page titles. Alright, so what kind of metadata about the web page can the head element contain? Well, number one, ito po yun. A browser's tab displays the title specified in the tag, and the tag is always inside of the head. No, naputol yung aking ano dito, yung text. But the tag is always inside the head element. So, an example of that is this. Okay? So, ito yung ating doc-type HTML tag, followed by the HTML1. Actually, ito pong HTML tag na nag-iisang to, pwedeng wala na yan. So, pwedeng ito na lang. Pero yung iba, ginagamit sila parehas. Alright, so inside the head tag is your title tag. So, the opening tag, at kung ano yung title na gusto nyong makita sa browser nyo, then, yun yung ilalagay nyo sa loob. So, if we were to open a file containing the HTML code in this example na pinapakita ko, the browser would display the words, My Coding Journal in the title bar or the tab's title. So, saan nga ba siya mag-a-appear? So, yun yung susunod nating i-discuss. Saan ba nag-a-appear yung content ng title bar? Okay, so where does the title appear? Well, so far we have learned about the doc-type HTML, the declaration specifying the version of HTML for the browser. Now, the HTML tags that enclose all of your HTML code, as well as the head tag that contains the metadata of a web page such as the title. So, dito, makikita natin yung ating web browser at kung ang inilagay nyo sa loob ng inyong title tag is brown bears, yun din yung mag-a-appear dun sa title bar ng inyong web browser or tab name. So, the next that we are going to talk about or learn are the new types of elements that go inside the body. So, ano nga ba yun? For example, linking to other web page. One of the powerful aspects kasi of HTML and of course the internet is the ability to link to other web pages. Katulad nga nung na-discuss natin last week, no? You can add links to a web page by adding an anchor element or yung A tag natin, and including the text of the link in between the opening and the closing tag. So, an example of that is this one. Anchor tag, then the text that you wanted to appear on your web page. So, in this case, my example is, this is a link to a Facebook, and then don't forget to close the anchor tag. Now, technically, this example here is incomplete. So, how exactly is the link above or on this example supposed to work if there is no URL or uniform resource locator that will lead users to the actual Facebook page? So, dito ang gagamitin natin is a one attribute of the anchor tag, which is the hyperlink reference. So, yung tinatawag nating hyperlink reference or href for short is used to link to a path or the address to where a file is located. So, depende ito whether if it's on your computer or another location or another website. No? So, ito yung ating example ng hyperlink reference. So, for short, ang attribute na kailangan natin gamitin on our code is href is equals to the URL where you wanted to point your text. So, in this case, dahil we wanted to go to Facebook or this link should go to Facebook, obviously, dahil yun po yung nakalagay sa text nyo, you'll have to include the complete URL of facebook.com. That's why it includes the https://www.facebook.com/. So, yun po yung dapat nating ilagay dito. Once the user was able to click on this text, no, it will automatically bring the user to the homepage of facebook.com. Okay, so now on this case, ipakita po natin kung paano naglilink ng isang text to a different website. Now, of course, just bear in mind that this is going to work, parang successfully going to work na mag-connect ng isang page to another website is if you have internet connection, syempre. Kung wala kayong internet connection, hindi rin magwo-work yung ating link na ginawa. Okay, so when reading technical documentation, in addition to that, you may come across the term hyperlink kasi yun yung tawag dun minsan. So, not to worry, this is simply the technical term for links. These terms are often used interchangeably. So, pwedeng link, pwedeng hyperlinks. Okay, now, on this case, kapag nag-click ka ng isang link, mapapansin nyo, diba, for example, sa mga websites na pinupuntahan nyo, meron pong times na kapag nag-click po ako ng ganyang link, nagbubukas siya sa ibang window, o kaya naman, nagbubukas sa isang tab, no? So, alam naman natin yung difference nun. Kapag sinabi nating window, a different window or a different set of browser, Same web browser naman yon. Kung for example, ang gamit nyo is Google Chrome. Same browser pa rin, but it's going to open another Google Chrome kapag ka new window. Now, kapag ka naman nag-open kayo ng link, minsan napupunta siya into another tab. So, same window but a different tab. Now, how do we actually load the different links depending on what we wanted to do? So let's start with opening a link in a new window. So in this example, no, parang have you ever clicked on a link and observe the resulting web page open in a new browser window? So dito pwede natin gamitin yung another attribute ng anchor element. So what is that other attribute? The target kasi, yung tinatawag nating target attribute, it specifies how a link should open. So in this case, it is possible that one or more links on your web page link to an entirely different website. So in that case, you may want your users to read the linked website but hope that they return to your web page. So kumbaga, kung you have your own website na ginawa, pero gusto mong i-link yung ibang website na developed by others, baka gusto nyo na ma-open yung link na yon into another window instead of opening that website to the same window that they are using. Kasi baka mamaya, I wanted to go back to the old website na inopen ko, kaya lang dito siya nag-load sa same window na yon. Now, in that case, no, you need exactly to use the target attribute. Napaka-useful nun. So, for a link to open in a new window, the target attribute requires a value of blank. So, ito yung mismong gagamitin natin, no? The target attribute can be added directly to the opening tag of the anchor element, just like the href attribute. Yung kanina nating diniscuss, no? For example, dito, naglilink tayo ng the brown bear to this website from the wikipedia.org. So, kung gusto nyo na mag-open siya into another window, then, gagamit tayo ng target attribute equals to underscore blank. Okay? So, the brown bear, yung pinaka-text na mag-a-appear sa ating, what do you call this, sa ating web page. Katulad nitong example na nandito kanina. So, let me go back to that example. Now, so, for example, gusto mong maging link tong about brown bears. Ginamitan natin siya ng, what do you call this, hyperlink that will open to another window. So, in this case, I will make a demonstration and parang ano na lang to, kumbaga ano ba yung magiging itsura kapag ginamitan natin to ng ating target attribute where we wanted to link that to that text rather to another window. Okay, so let me go back to the example so that you can recall kung ano yung format niya. So again, href, tapos yung URL nung website kung saan mo siya tinuturo, the text that should show on the web browser, and then yung target, you're going to set it to underscore blank. And make sure not to forget yung ating opening and closing quotation mark. So, the next part of this video is going to show you how to do that. Alright, so on this example, guys, that I'm going to show you, I will use the Sublime text editor. Okay, so before I start the coding in HTML, I always say to myself na sinesave ko muna yung aking file as .html. So, let me save that. Nag-press lang ako ng Ctrl-S on my keyboard. And then, I'll be choosing the folder that I created on my local drive, sample activities. And then, I'm going to use a file name na links_a kasi baka mamaya is mag-create pa ako ng additional example about links. So, don't forget to include the the .html extension name to your web page, ha, para hindi nyo makalimutan. Ngayon, kung ayaw nyo naman nun, for example, ma'am, gusto ko po is links A, make sure na iselect mo lang dito sa type yung HTML. So, para automatic nang gagawin sa iyo yon ng Sublime Text Editor. So, in my case, sasanay na lang ako that I am putting .html as my extension name. So, of course, we're gonna have to start our first line with the doc type, yung tinuro ko sa inyo kanina, and then the HTML. So, ano nga bang ginagawa nito? This is telling your web browser that you're creating a document type version 5 of the HTML. And then again, sabi ko nga, this one is not actually, sorry, hold on. Na-double siya kasi ginamit ko yung shortcut kinang ating Sublime. So, when I selected the HTML, no, for example, kanina, so let me start again. Pag nag-type tayo kasi using the Sublime, for example, as you're typing in the tags, lahat ng options na merong H and T is lalabas. So, ito yung kagandahan kapag gumagamit tayo ng text editor. Binibigyan tayo ng option on what to select. Most especially dahil ito ay sinave ko na as an HTML file. Ang mag-a-appear dito is lahat ng mga tags na may kinalaman sa HTML. So, once I select that, I'm just going to press the tab button on my keyboard. And then, lahat ng kailangan na code mo in the HTML is lalabas na, no? So, ito na siya. Automatically, this tags has been created by Sublime already. What you just need to do is to add the things that you wanted to show on your metadata, like the title, and then, of course, the web page itself inside the body tag. So, in this case, I'm going to name this HTML document as linking to a new window. Alright, kasi yun yung topic natin a while ago. So, linking to a new window. Now, I'm done with my title tag. Let me go ahead and go inside the body. So, maglagay lang tayo dito ng mga konting content, no? So, for example, I'm going to say here, creating a link using target attribute for new window. Okay, so dito, makikreate na ako dito ng anchor tag ko. So, dito as you can see, no, nagtatab-tab lang ako when I already select a couple of tags that I wanted to use. So, in this case, nag-create na yung Sublime ng additional attribute for href. So, that means kung ano ba yung gusto kong gamitin. So, for example, isa-set ko muna to meron akong existing, wait lang. Hold on. I have an existing website saved on the same file. Hold on. I'll be using, tama naman, sample. Asa na ba yung mga sample ko rito? Ito yan, sample activities. So, since nag-save naman ako dito ng parang existing na web page, etong ginawa ko ngayon, paglilink ko na lang yung dalawa. So, as you can see, ang pangalan po ng other HTML file ko is WDP_HE1. So, since they are on the same local drive, pwede ko nang gamitin directly yung pangalan lang mismo ng file na gusto kong i-link. So, ikakopy ko lang to. And then, let me go back to the editor. So, I'm gonna paste that there. And dadagdag ko lang .html, no? So, wala na akong ibang dadagdag dito because this file is on the same folder. So, kapag ganun yung setup ng folder nyo on the web, kung saan nyo isa-save yung inyong website, pwedeng ganito na lang. So, darating naman tayo sa part na yan. For the time being, we're going to use a local file on the drive that I am using right now. Okay, so let me continue, no? Okay, hold on, sorry. So, let me continue here. So, dito, for example, maglalagay lang ako ng text saying, click me to open a new file on a different window. Alright. So, dito, inilagay kong text is this. Click me to open a new file on a different window. Therefore, lahat ng text po na ito, or sentence na to rather, is going to become a hyperlink. So, let us save that by pressing Ctrl S or File and then Save. Alright? So, make sure to save the file first before opening it on a web browser. Now, as you can see on this example, wala pa akong nilalagay na target attribute kasi I wanted you to show you guys kung ano yung itsura niya kapag ka gumamit ng target attribute using blank at yung wala pang target attribute. So, let me go ahead and go to the web browser.